All right, we're on lesson 9 as we walk through the Red Sea rules. Lesson 9. And the 9th rule is view your current crisis as a faith builder for the future. View your current crisis as a faith builder for the future. And we typically don't look at crisis as a faith builder, right? Addicts are victims. And so we always feel like when we're going through something that we are being punished or victimized, right? All the time. And we understand the law of gravity and motion and all of those things. You know, if you're going to get stronger, you got to have opposition and weight. Right?
Right. Yes, sir.
That's why we lift weights. And the stronger you get, the more you put on there, right?
Yes, sir.
If you're running, you will gain more strength by running up a hill than running on a flat plane. And we understand that in every area of our life other than spiritual and emotional and mental growth. That's the only time we complain and act, as my kids used to say, brand new. Right? And the stronger we get, we ask, I say this all the time, we ask for more weight. We take that as a point of pride. If you lifting 100 pounds and you doing it like that, what do you say? Put some more on there. But spiritually, if God is going to get us from one point to another, he has to put more on there. We all want to grow spiritually. We'll say that, right?
Yeah.
You know, we go to church, we go to Bible study, we do all that. We say, you know what? I want to grow spiritually. Well, God only has one method for spiritual growth. Is opposition. When Janika reads, we're gonna see where it talks about Satan tempts, God tests. Satan tempts, God tests. And in order for you to grow, you got to go through some things to continue to develop. Today we're in Exodus 14, 30, and 31. Let me read it for you hearing. It says, the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hands of the Egyptians. And Israel saw Egypt dead on the seashore. Thus Israel saw the great work which the Lord had done in Egypt. So the people feared the Lord and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. Now they had just seen a mighty work of the Lord. They had seen themselves trapped. They had seen the Red Sea split. They was able to walk through on dry land. They seen the sea come back together and Pharaoh and his army destroyed. Now they had seen that. The great works of the Lord. That's where we are. And so they had an opportunity to view their current crisis that they were in as a faith builder. So you would think that if you had went through something like that, your faith would be a little stronger. If God can split the Red Sea and you walk through on dry land and the sea comes back, you should be a little confident the next time you're in a crisis that you know what, the same God can do that again. Right? That makes sense? And what I told y'all and been telling y'all every week, you getting clean is equivalent to the sea splitting. Because you were trapped in this thing called addiction for years, thinking that you were going to die. And on numerous occasions, you've been set free. But you did not have the faith to continue to walk in sobriety. Last week we talked about what is the true definition of deliverance and what does it look like. Y'all remember that?
Yes.
This whole week, we spent this whole week talking about grace, right? And consequences. Grace and consequences. That God looks for a response when he dispenses grace. You know, when you're given something, you normally act a certain way. We teach our kids to say thank you when they receive a gift, right? Every parent just about say that. You give a kid a little piece of candy, and the parent reach down and say, now what do you say? And the little kid says, thank you. What they're trying to teach them is the response when you have been given something. What we looked at this week as well in our hearing on, that when God gives us a second chance in life, what is the response that he looks for? We normally say he's asking too much of us. And in that moment, we promise everything, right? If you get me out of this, I will. And we have a long laundry list of things that we say we're going to do that we don't do none of. Number one, I know he tries me only to increase my faith. God tests, Satan tempts. God tests, Satan tempts. Read Janika, James 1, 2 through 18 for us loud.
Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. For you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generally to all without reproach, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith with no doubting, for the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind. For that person must not suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. Let the lowly brother boast in his exaltation, and the rich in his humiliation, because like a flower of the grass he will pass away. For the sun rises and with the scorching heat, and withers the grass, its flower falls, and its beauty perishes. So also will the rich man fade away in the midst of his pursuits. Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised to those who love him. Let no one say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, for he himself tempts no one. But each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desires. Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin, and sin, when it has fully grown, brings forth death. Do not be deceived, my beloved brothers. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change. Of his own will, he brought us forth with the word of truth, that we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. How far did you say, Carol?
Yes, that's it. Y'all heard that? I love James 2. When I came in the program and I read that, I said that has to be a hindsight scripture. That after you have gotten through. And they said, no, that's not what it says, Bussey. It says that, let me read it so I get it straight. Because it's hard. Think about this. Check this out. And y'all tell me if this is a hindsight scripture or a current scripture. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. Is that after you done went through or in that moment?
Why are you going?
In the moment.
In the moment?
No, why you going through?
Same thing. Why are you going through? So, what James is saying here, that I'm supposed to rejoice right in the middle of it. If that's true.
Yes.
I don't think it says after you get through and the sea is split and Pharaoh and his army has been destroyed, then rejoice. That ain't what that said, right? 3 kind of sets it up. It says, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. Steadfastness is that ability to stand. And what I have to understand before I get to the lesson is what she just read. That Satan tempts, God tests. You got it? And so when I'm going through that, I have to understand the nature and the character of God. That if he's allowing this, it's for my good. Because he has something else better for me. That makes sense? Now, a lot of times, it's not God or Satan. It's my own lustful desires. Golly.
Yeah.
That's what it says in 16. It didn't say it was Satan. It didn't say it was God. It's my own lustful desires.
Yeah.
And you all, we got more than most. You know why? We have been exposed to more by our addiction. See, normal people ain't seen and experienced all of the stuff that we have experienced. So guess what? I have more lustful desires than normal people because I done more gutter stuff. You know? My wife will be walking and she have her money and I'm like, girl, put your money up. You don't get robbed. And it don't even cross her mind. She's like, how you come up with that? So, well, we're not going to discuss that. You know? You know why? Because I done got some people. And so I'm on guard for somebody getting me. Because I think that way, even clean. Why? Because I have those desires. I've seen that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so normal people that haven't been exposed, they don't have all of the desires that we have. So because of the things that you've been exposed, because of the things you've been exposed to, you have more desires that you got to fight. And we got to stop being Flip Wilson and saying, the devil made me do it. That's what he said when he was Geraldine, right? That was his famous thing. You know, he would say, the devil made me do it. Some of y'all too young to remember Flip Wilson and Geraldine, but that's what he used to say. It ain't the devil. It's my own lustful desires. God ain't trying me to promote me most of the time. Satan ain't tempting me to try to take me out. That ain't nobody but Obie. Pastor Parker says that Satan don't have to worry about trying to come and get you. He already got you. You don't go and seek people you already got. And sometimes it's not even that. It's our own lustful desires. Y'all need to go and read that. And then around 12 to 14, it talks about us being a double-minded person. That means that we'll speak one way or we'll have good intentions, but we don't never stand and do that. We double-minded. One moment we all for the Lord, the next moment we talking that talk. And so what James is saying, y'all, we're going to have to stand somewhere and decide whose side are we on. And that's difficult because we want to be both, don't we? Double-minded, we think it's fun to be bald. Check this out. Look at your paper. It said trials and troubles are dumbbells and treadmills for the soul. They develop strength and stamina. Dumbbells and treadmills to increase my stamina. You know, you don't want nobody doing nothing for you that ain't been tried. Right? That's how we evaluate people. You want to know that they have the ability to go through something. I tell the guys all the time when they come in here, you know, because they done sent their woman through so much, and they want to get them a new woman because they don't want to deal with all of the history and the baggage and the condemnation. And I said, you know what? One thing we do know about that sister been tried.
Yes, he has.
So you ain't got none of that. Is she on my side? Does she believe in me? Will she go through something with me? She done already proved herself. Now this new sister that ain't mad, she ain't been tested. You go out there and fall off one time, that sister probably gone. But this other one done went through some things. It's a wonderful thing to have somebody that has been battle tested. And God wants us to be battle tested before he promotes us. That makes sense? It said a faith that can't be tested can't be trusted. A faith that can't be tested can't be trusted. And see, we see that here, that I said this last week, that addicts, this is a bad word, so don't worry about it. I'm going to say something real ugly about you. Don't nobody run up here and fight me, we don't take it. Addicts are cowards and quitters. They are what?
Cowards and quitters.
Say it one more time.
Cowards and quitters.
Yeah. Because the first thing we say when we are tested is I quit. I'm leaving. I'm gone. Nobody don't. You can't be trusted if you can't go through something. Shoot, that brother left 3 times today. He done left 3 times today. 3 times. He done left the program, still sitting there. Cuss you out, call you all kind of names, and then in the same sentence, cry. Take a break, cuss you out, cry. 5 minutes later, cuss you out, cry. Like, now, dude, either you gonna be the angry killer or you gonna be the crier. Now, which one are you? You can't be both. But you know what that is? When I'm tested, I want to run. And at some point, I gotta be able to go through something and stand. And quitting ain't the thing. And we govern our lives by our emotions and our feelings. And we can't do that. Feelings are real, but feelings are lies. Y'all hear what I said? See, I can say, I feel like Janika don't like me. I don't even have to know her. Now, the feeling that I have is real. I feel that. But it don't mean that it's true. She probably ain't studying me. And somebody go and tell her, man, Bussey said you don't like him. It's like, ain't nobody even thinking about him. But I feel that. And so what I'll do is start operating on that and start not speaking to her or start gossiping about her or start, you see what I'm saying? All about a feeling. I was sharing with the class this morning. I didn't want to come to work today. I knew that last night. When I went to sleep, I said, I'm canceling the meeting and I ain't coming. My wife said, oh, okay. And I laid there, I normally get up at 5. It was about 6 something, I was still asleep. That sister walked in, brought my coffee beside me and say, all right, baby, get on up. It was real nice. She done real, she was good. She didn't say, get your sorry butt up, go to work, we got bills. She just said, here's your coffee, baby. Get on up. I got the hint. Janika, I think that meant something. Don't you think that meant something? That meant that, brother, you need to go to work, right?
Exactly.
You think that's what it was?
That's all it was.
Well, I'll be. That I don't get to operate on my feelings and not go to work. Right. We don't get to operate on feelings. Y'all with me?
Yes,
God says, now here is a test. Let's see if you can apply my promises to your problems. That God has promised to be with us. He's promised to walk with us. Right? He told Moses, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. He told Moses to go and tell them that they were going to go to the promised land. So that was a promise, right? So what we have to do is take our eyes off of the immediate and remember the promise as we go through. Now you're going to encounter a whole bunch of stuff along the way. But where's your focus? And it is hard to not focus on the immediate and what's going on with you right now and remember the promise. I understand that. When I came to this program, they told me that the God that they were introducing me in was not a trickster. I said, okay, that meant, all right, I can go with that. So that meant that he wouldn't bring me here if he didn't have a plan to get me through it, to get me a job, to get me in, to be self-sufficient. But each time I would get caught up with what was going on right now, rather than focusing on, you know what, why would a loving God sober me up and not allow me to get a job? Why would he not allow me to get a place to stay? You see what I'm saying? That would make him a trickster. You know, you remember how when you used to have your little can and chips, and somebody would ask you for some, and you stick your tongue out and say, nah. Y'all remember that? Yeah. I can see her. She done it, didn't she? A lot. Yeah, you just look at it, you can tell them kind. Stick her tongue, nah. I don't want to get nobody them chips. I bet she knew how to hold the bag. Them girls know how to hold the bag at the bottom, and you get some, you can't get very many. They know how to do it. Now hold that bag. Ain't one or two gonna come out of it. It's like, oh, she tight. But for God to sober you up and not get you through would be him being a trickster. So do I focus on, you know what, it's been 2 weeks since I've been looking for a job, or it's been difficult, or do I look at the promises that he gave me? You see what I'm saying? Even when they got through in this same chapter of Exodus, he told them to go and possess a land that was already theirs. But it was giants over there, so they had to fight, right? But the promise was, it's yours. But you gotta fight. We serve a God that will make a promise, but you still gotta fight for it. And we want him to be a God that promises and have no fights. That ain't who he is. That's not who he is. So just because he's promised you sobriety and he's promised you freedom doesn't mean you ain't got to go through something. I like free stuff. Don't y'all? I want him to give me sobriety and not test me and not allow me to go through anything. But I say this all the time too. We're almost through. That we don't serve a God that's into social promotion. Social promotion is just that you halfway attended and you're a nice person and you're okay and you didn't cause no problems, so we're going to promote you to the next grade. And I say this all the time. That's how you end up with a degree and can't spell degree. You were just nice. But God don't promote you to the next grade until you pass that test. That's why y'all ain't stay clean. He like, until you learn these things, you will not pass the grade to sobriety. And that's why y'all are 52 in the first grade. And that ain't cute. You know, you went into the first grade and it was, you know, little Johnny and he's 6, Little Susan, she's 7. And then how old are you?
41.
How old are you?
55.
How old are you?
46.
How old are you?
47.
Y'all would think it was something wrong in that class, wouldn't you? In the South, they would say that they special. Where you from, you would say, bless your heart. Ain't that how y'all say in Mississippi? And that ain't a compliment, is it? When they say, oh, you how old, sir?
41.
In the 1st grade? Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Getting clean is the 1st grade, y'all. It really is. It's so many more tests and trials after that. But you got to get through that. And he's not going to promote you until you pass the test. Because then he can't trust you or use you adequately. Think about this. Think of it this way. All of those things that you want and desire and praying for is on the other side of sobriety. Would God be loving to promote you into that? Put you back in your children's lives, to put you in a new relationship, to put you on somebody's job, knowing you're not ready? Would that be kind or would that be malicious to those people? It would be malicious, wouldn't it? So he ain't doing that. Now that don't mean that you can't find a victim and manipulate your way in and hurt some new and innocent people and even some of the old people. But that ain't of God. That's you and them dealing with their own issues. Because all of the signs are there that you're not ready. And if you understood that, you would say that I do not want to be promoted until I pass that test. Because I don't want to hurt those people again. Or I don't want to hurt some new, innocent people and inflict this thing called addiction on no more people. It should be criminal. I think you ought to go to jail. I really believe that. I believe that in the first couple of dates, that if you don't tell somebody that you suffer from this detrimental disease, they ought to lock you up. Because any person ought to have the right to make the decision whether or not they want to take a chance and fool with you. What y'all think about that? Don't you think they should know?
Right.
Yeah. When I was single, I lost a few. I was 16 years clean. I went out with this lady and, I took her out and I sat there and I, got myself together and I explained, and she just started talking loud in the restaurant. Y'all, and you still. I'm like, first of all, calm down. How you dopies? I'm like, for real, true story. I'm like, oh Lord, she done been hurt. I said, but I've been clean 16 years. She said, don't matter. Wow. And that sister got up and left. She didn't care that I had been clean 16 years. She didn't care about none of that. But that was her choice. And Melody, I had to take her and tell her. I was kind of scared, Like, okay, this is who I am. This is my story. I've been clean. She took a chance. But it would be wrong for me to date her and not tell her, get her to fall in love with me, and then she find out. Whether I fall off or not, that's some sneaky stuff, right?
Right.
And so, y'all need to tell somebody. I tell people, the only way I can get y'all to understand it is this way. If somebody was HIV positive, how many dates would you want them to go out with you before they told you?
Numero uno.
Verse 1. What about you, sister?
Verse 1.
What about you?
First.
So how many days it's going to be when you meet this new person before you tell them that you suffer from this deadly disease?
First.
Verse
First.
You're alive from the pits of hell. You're alive from the pits of hell. Y'all know daggone well